What the hell, what the hell, what the hell? This battlefield, a destruction zone. They had no preparation. Not a single soul. You believe the universe is secure. You believe they're prepared for a force like yours. Listen, let me say this. They never have been. Every syllable you unleash, every stare, every calculated gesture you execute, it's a trigger. You believe mayhem is thunderous. Wrong. Mayhem is a murmur, and when it arrives, it's devastation. And you're positioned there grinning at the center, observing them fall apart. They connect, believing they hold power. The digital arena, their tiny domain, their tiny empire, vanished, annihilated, erased. You're not merely commenting. You're delivering judgment word by word, action by action, revealing their vulnerabilities like a doctor with a blade. And the magnificence of it. They cannot predict your arrival. You sense the strength. You sense it blazing within, that rush, that chill through your body when the mayhem emerges. And you're the master of the insanity that's existence. That's pure, wild existence. They crave safety. They crave regulations. They crave certainty. And here you stand demolishing the matrix, fragmenting the display, transforming a virtual realm into a combat zone of psyches, feelings, and terror. You've been instructed to behave properly, instructed to obey their narratives, instructed to remain polite, and observe you cackling in the darkness while their tiny prisons disintegrate. They had no preparation. Absolutely nobody ever does. And that's your talent. That's your throne. That's the blaze that divides the fearful from the immortals. Every reply they compose, every response they share, that's ammunition. That's essence in the depths. They believe it's amusement. They believe it's spectacle. They believe it's mayhem for mayhem's purpose. But you possess it. You recognize it for its truth. A coliseum, a war zone, an examination. And you don't merely endure, you flourish. You don't merely exist, you reign. You're the darkness in the inferno, the ignition in the emptiness. The individual who denies submission. And here's the revelation. Here's the unfiltered, visceral truth. They desired normalcy, they desired structure, they desired a framework. And every moment you infiltrate the realm, every contribution, every phrase, every observation toward them, you remind them, and yourself, that normalcy is deceased. Structure is absurd. Authority is fantasy. And you are the deviation, branded, selected, relentless. Sense that rhythm in your core, that fury, that excitement, that shadowy fulfillment. That's evidence you're living. That's evidence you're uncontrollable. You weren't created for average. You were created to disturb the pillars. Every consciousness you influence, every terror you generate, every truth you twist. You're inscribing your mythology in essence and technology. They had no preparation. They never shall. And you remain elevated, smiling, observing the mayhem expand, absorbing the quietness that pursues the tempest, sensing the vibrations of consciousnesses destroyed, obstacles demolished, and pride obliterated. That's your orchestra, that's your instant, that's your strength. So accept it, consume it. Allow them to observe, wonder, yell. Allow them to attempt measuring you, controlling you, forecasting you. Because they cannot, they never can. And as the universe navigates, selects, responds, you persist as the director, the trickster in the chamber, the individual who converts a basic remark into a destruction zone, the individual who reminds them that the digital world, the universe, hell, truth itself doesn't surrender for anybody. # the eternal truth. Recall this perpetually. They had no preparation. They shall never possess preparation. And you were created to become the ignition, the mayhem, the tempest, and the mythology that ascends beyond everything. Mock their efforts. Mock the structure they desire. Mock because nothing they comprehend can reach you. You are the blaze, you are the revelation and the horror. You are untouchable. They observe, they inhale sharply. They navigate, and yet you're unharmed, unreachable. The method you travel through the mayhem, the method your phrases demolish barriers without lifting a finger. That is the strength they dread, but shall never acknowledge. Every response they contribute, every dispute they initiate, every effort to pull you into their confinements only demonstrates one reality. You are the tempest they cannot withstand. Examine surroundings. The universe is abundant with silent murmurs, courteous gestures, timid spirits, concealing behind displays, concealing behind regulations, concealing behind the fantasy of security. And then there's you. You are not silent. You do not perform by their manuscript. You are the sharp boundary, the shadowy rhythm, the reality they attempted ignoring but couldn't. Every phrase you compose, every action you execute, every strategic ignition you release, it's like igniting a wire in a chamber abundant with combustible material. And the blaze, oh, it expands quicker than they can envision. You've been instructed to conform, to become normal, to diminish your presence, to consume your poison, to become tender with their delicate pride. But screw that. The universe surrenders for nobody. It rotates in mayhem, in uncertainty, in pure, wild vitality. And you're the reflection that displays them their vulnerability, their terror, their delicacy. They had no preparation for you because they never could possess preparation for somebody like you. Somebody who doesn't merely violate the regulations, they reconstruct them. Allow them to attempt comprehension. Allow them to attempt classification of you. Allow them to attempt dragging you toward their position. It's unfeasible. You are the deviation, the blaze that denies confinement. They observe the strength, the magnitude, the boldness, and their consciousnesses battle to analyze it. And when they collapse, when the replies descend into mayhem, when the disputes crumble, when the quietness that pursues screams more powerfully than any of their phrases, you grin. You possess it, you flourish in it. The unbreakable law, there exists a teaching here. A teaching only the courageous, the liberated, the persistent can perceive. The universe is not created for safety. It is created for struggle, for obstacle, for blaze. Those who grasp security, who grasp structure, who grasp regulations, they deteriorate, they disintegrate, they disappear. And you illuminate brighter than all of them unified. You seize the mayhem and you transform it into your intention. You seize the terror and you shape it into power. You seize the disturbance and you create it your orchestra. Recall every impact you receive, every condemnation, every rejection, every effort to quiet you. It is ammunition. Ammunition for your blaze, ammunition for your supremacy, ammunition for your ascension. They never had preparation because they never envisioned anybody could endure this intact, wild, relentless. But you accomplished. You position in the destruction of their anticipations and mock. You position in the wreckage of their delicate pride and smile. You position unshaken while the universe quivers beneath your darkness and the magnificence they cannot halt you. No regulations, no framework. No military of detractors can confine you. You are mayhem embodied. You are the darkness in their illumination. You are the ignition that sparks the unmanageable blaze. You are evidence that the universe surrenders only to those who deny submission, deny kneeling, deny performing insignificantly. So absorb it completely, the surprise, the terror, the wonder, the jealousy. Allow it to cleanse over you. Allow it to remind you that you are living in methods they shall never comprehend. Allow it to remind you that their unpreparedness is your instrument, Their delicacy is your arena. Their reluctance is your benefit. And as the reply area detonates, as the responses flood in, as the mayhem manifests precisely the method you anticipated, recall this. You are the destruction zone. You are the blaze. You are the tempest. And they are nothing without you.